Hello friends, I hope you guys are doing well. If this is your first time, special welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I got in zone 6B7A in Pennsylvania. So friends, I'm telling you, the garden looks so gorgeous. The blooms are beautiful. Look at this, the Liatris. You need Liatris in your garden. These have been blooming for such a long time. They are drought tolerant. Oh my goodness, do you see that bird behind there, the red bird? Look at that. Oh wow, it's so pretty. Sorry about that. You know how much I love my birds in the garden. Anyway, so I was saying the Liatris, they're drought tolerant and they love the sun, and the pollinators love them, friends. So from this side is our hummingbird garden lanes. And yes friends, guess what? The hummingbird is here. It came by. Yes, I have a few shots of it and it was loving this black truffle cardinal flower. It loved this flower, and that's the point of all these flowers in here. Anyway, so look at this. We just planted this maybe a few weeks ago, right? Oh, this is so pretty. I want more of this plant, friends. I just want more of it. I love the dark chocolate foliage, and I just love this bright hot red. Okay, not hot pink, bright hot red color. It's so pretty. I want more of this. This I got from a private garden center in my area. You will not find this at the big box stores, at least from my experience. All right friends, so this is what's going on this side. And the gladiolus, look at this beautiful red gladiolus for the hummingbird. It's opening. The Liatris, they are shining along with the cone flowers. Yes, they are the stars also, looking good. And then my Roselle, as we say in the Caribbean, sorrel. Look at my sorrel plants, friends. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see buds on these so I can make that drink I told you guys about. Just loving it. And the sun is out now. Let's go down to the flamingo garden bed. This is my specialty garden bed. And look at it, friends. Look at our cleomes. Oh my goodness. So these reseeded themselves. I planted one last year and it reseeded itself in the spring, and I took seedlings from here. I put it throughout the garden, and this is what's going on here. And I just love this beautiful clump of cleome. Love it. You need cleomes in your garden, friends. If you've never planted cleome, you must. They come in white, they come in purple, and they come in pink, and they come in pink and white, they come in purple and white. I think those are all the colors I know they come in, but you definitely need cleome in your garden. They bloom all the way into fall, into frost I should say. Okay, when my last year was my first experience with it, and then the frost came, the frost hit it, and it was still blooming. I'm like, what's going on here? But as I said, they're amazing. Love them, and they're dairy resistant, they're pollinator attractor. I haven't used it as a cut flower. Whenever I touch it, it has a sticky feeling to it. So I probably won't use it as a cut flower. I'd probably make a unique cut flower, but I will not use it as a cut flower because it has that sticky feeling. Anyway, so let's go over here. But a must. You need this in your garden. You need it. And it's really easy to start from seeds. Anyways, and here's one of my favorites, Nandina. You know how much I love my Nandina. Look at that. It's beautiful. And then we have more cleome over here. And these are some rose mallow I did from seeds with you. And then here is a lily my sweet neighbor friend next door gave to me. I helped her move some lilies and she offered me one. Look at it. It's special to her, so it's special to me. And behind it we have sedum, which will give us fall blooms. Beautiful. And then over here we have the Easter basket rose. This I got from heirloomroses.com. This bloom like different colors, friends. It goes a light pink, light yellow. It's so pretty, and then it ends up like this, all white. And yes, it smells so good, and it's doing really good. This is the second year I think with it. I love the foliage on there. And look here, we have more cleomes. I told you they reseed themselves all over the place. And then here we have a spirea. You know how much I love my spirea, friends. Definitely a must in your garden. Beautiful small shrub which I strongly recommend to put in your garden. They bloom in the spring season, and I think they bloom in the fall too. The one in the front, I start to see some new blooms coming out. So this is where the blooms would be, and then it turns like this. But with these, friends, you more get it for the foliage. But the blooms are really beautiful, and the pollinators, the bee loves the spirea. And here we have a pink yarrow. This I got on clearance last year. It's doing well. And friends, look at this. I did zinnia seeds. You guys know how much I love to do flowers from seeds. Look at this zinnia. This is, oh my goodness, this is probably 4 feet tall, okay? This has to be 4 feet tall. Hello, where do you think you're going so tall going? It's beautiful though. And then over here we have a blushing bright hydrangea. Oh my goodness, look at that. And I noticed it has some blue dots on it, so I'm not sure if that's from the soil or what going on, but I just love it. Love this blushing bright hydrangea. And then here we have this rhododendron that we planted in spring. Not sure if you remember when I got this from Lowe's. Look at the foliage, right, friends? Look at that, it's beautiful. And I think this one's supposed to be evergreen, meaning it stays green during the winter season. And then here we have another of the zinnia. So as you can see, they're really tall. I've never known zinnias get so tall like that. And then here we have more cleome. I told you, they just reseed themselves all over the place. This one I probably planted here to help to balance out the other side. And then over here we have Gara butterfly bush. It's beautiful. And then we have some lilies underneath there, but it bloomed already. So the point of this flamingo garden bed is that all the flowers in here, they have different shades of the flamingo bird. It's just a specialty garden. But I told you guys before, you can create any specialty garden bed you like. Depends on what you like. Just think and get creative, and you could just use different color scheme for whatever you like. It might be a sporty theme, I don't know, it might be a country flag, whatever. Just get creative. It might be an animal. That's what this garden is all about. That's why I call it flamingo garden bed. So if you did not know that, that's the reason for this garden. Anyway, so here we have more Liatris, friends. So these are gonna start to bloom from here, and look at that, they're coming all the way down to the bottom. Just love these Liatris. And here we have a boxwood in here. So this garden, yes, it has different seasons of interest. So that's my winter interest there, stays green. I did not even notice I have another Nandina over here. I love these Nandinas. They're so small and compact, perfect for a small space. I don't like when shrubs get so big and bulky looking and they take over everything. I don't like those kind of shrubs. I like the smaller ones, like the boxwoods, the Nandinas, the spireas. Those are my type of shrubs I love. And here we have another zinnia, so pretty. And then we have more Liatris. This one is the white, as you can see here. So as I said before in another video, look at that, the bee. I told you the bee loves them. They start to bloom from the tip and they go all the way down. Just love it. And then here we have a double knockout rose, friends. I already came and I pruned this, I deadhead it, sprayed, and the blooms, it just keep blooming. I strongly recommend double knockout roses. All right, friends, and we're back up here, friends, and look at the hardy hibiscus. Oh my goodness, it is huge. They are getting ready to open. Look at this one over here. Hello, Holy Grail. So this guy is Holy Grail. Look at it, absolutely gorgeous. This is from Proven Winners. So beautiful. And here's the other one. So these I had different areas in the garden, friends, and guess what I did? I dug them out and I brought them behind here because of this reason. Do you see how they spread out? They spread out. If you're gonna get a hardy hibiscus, I said this to you before, put it at the end of your flower bed or put it in a space like this where you have grass. Okay, do you see where I have the grass there? Put it like that. Don't put it in the center of your flower bed with other plants. It will take over. Warning, love them, but they will take over. All right, friends, and here's our Eden climbing rose. Look at the new growth coming out on here. Do you see that red maroon color? That is new growth. Oh my goodness, I love this. Very light fragrance, very feminine smell to it. And these I got from Home Depot. This will be their second year, friends. Yep, their second year. $12.98 I think I paid for these Eden climbing roses, and this is their second flush of bloom they are giving us. And I'm gonna record it so I could give you a tour of all the roses blooming, but you should see early in spring when they bloom, the entire plant, the entire shrub was covered in roses. And here is what it looks like, a fresh one. Smells so good. Look at that. It's just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I hope you can see. So it starts out like this bud, and it turns to this one, then it becomes these, and then this is part of it too. It's almost like it just changes different form. Do you see all of that? Yes, it does. And then I think when it finishes, it ends up looking more white. Do you see how this one looks more white? There's no pink in it really. Yeah, so it just changes the form on it. I'm so proud of myself, friends. Look what I did for helping it climb on the arbor and making sure I secure it. I used some of these clips here and some of these. I'm telling you, you get better as time goes by with your garden, friends, and your lawn, and you just get better, right? Nobody's perfect at the same time. It comes with experiences. But I'm so proud of myself training my climbing roses. It's so pretty. All right, and then let's come over here to the other side of the rose garden. All right, friends, so look at the echinacea. Oh my goodness, I've never seen my echinacea bloom like this. They're just blooming, okay? The colors are just staying pink. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And here's this verbena in front of us, just loving it. Friends, if you don't have this in a garden, you need them. They're so beautiful. They're very whimsical, as you can see. I'll show you a better picture on the other side over there, and they don't take up much space in your garden. They grow tall and just whimsical. As you can see, they grow more like a stem. Do you see that? So pretty. But let me show you something over here that my neighbor, sweet neighbor friend up the road, told me when she came down yesterday. I did not see this. She told me her echinacea, she has some looking like this. Look at that. It's like a twin. I don't know what's going on here. Do you see what happened to the bloom? Look at that, friends. Oh, sorry, B. Look at that. And then here's another one here. I hope it's not a disease. I think it's just twin. You know, like, no, like we have twin as females, right? So maybe the plant does this too. I don't know. I'm talking nonsense. You know, as a female, we can give birth to twin babies, so maybe the plant does this too. I don't know, but it's so pretty. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and here's another one happening too. All right, if you know what it is, let me know. Oh my goodness, here's another one, friends. Do you see that? I don't know. I don't know if it's a disease or something. I doubt it because they all look so pretty, but it's so unique though. I don't know. Let me know if you have any experience with flowers doing this twin thing that's going on there. All right, friends, and then here's the serendipity alliums from Proven Winners. You can see we have a bloom over there, and then my salvia here is giving me some new growth. And then here's this other rose in here from heirloomroses.com. This guy and the one over there, they always struggle. I don't know why. And this is their third year, I think, third or second year, I think. They're still small, so let's see if they get bigger next year. They should though. All right, friends, let's keep going over here. I have a cleome in there, and here's my calendula I did from seeds. And I put a calendula in there because it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be a good plant to attract the bad bugs from your roses. Let's come on this side, friends. Here we have salvia coming out with a new set of flush of bloom there. And then this is another rose mallow I did from seed. And here we have some nasturtium. I planted these here from seeds for the same reason too. So if any pests come around the roses, the nasturtium will act as a crop cover plant, and they will go to the nasturtium instead of the roses. There's always a science behind these things, right? All right, friends, and here we have more of these verbena. So I was telling you how they grow like this, just whimsical, right? Just beautiful. And here's this Portlandia rose from Heirloom Roses. This, I think, probably my favorite smelling rose in the garden. I think. Oh, smell that. Oh, it smells so good, friends. It really does. It's so pretty. They're supposed to get 6 feet tall, so that's why I have it next to this trellis. I got this early in the year from Costco. Yes, it was like $20, I think it was. So I have it here so this could just get some support here, and it's looking so good. So this is this side of the rose garden, and then let's go over to the other half of the rose garden. Here's the other half of the rose garden. This is what I was telling you about, friends. Do you see that? Look at that. Tell me if this is not gorgeous. Just look at this verbena. Absolutely beautiful. And the roses are blooming on here too. You can see that. I think this one is Sierra Lady, and I'll show you with the other two over there. And I just had some boxwood in there for winter interest and more verbena. Oh my goodness, I love these guys. Cleome down in there, see that? From seed, calendula in the center over there. So what I did here, let me go back. So I just put 3 boxwoods on each end and created a path there. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, and then not sure if you remember when we did Liatris in spring. Here I have one here. There's more summer bulb over there, and then here's the others in here. See that? You need Liatris in your garden, friends. They're amazing. And then the lily coming to an end here. And here's another nasturtium. Yep, I did them from seeds. They're so easy to grow from seeds. And here's another one over there. Yep, just tuck them in, so if there's any bad bugs, they will just go to the nasturtium and leave my roses alone. And here's a South Africa sunbelt rose coming into bloom again. I love this rose. One of my favorites, actually. I just love it. It bloom a yellow and an orangey color. It's really gorgeous. So I make sure I document these for you when they're fully bloomed out, so that way you can actually see what they look like, because I told you guys these plants are blooming, a lot of them, and they're going. But so far the Liatris and the echinacea, they're holding on. And then here we have this one. I think this one is Happy Birthday Rose. Yes, from heirloomroses.com. Oh, this smells good too. I like this smell. This one is really good. I love it. So this is the view there of the rose garden side over there. All right, friends, and here's this end here. I just love this. I can't stress this enough. You need this verbena in your garden. Absolutely amazing. I think it's probably hardy from, oh, let me see. I would say my zone, because you know what? My neighbor, she has this in her garden, and she told me it comes back for her, and she said it reseeds a lot. So I would say zone 7 is probably hardy from, but it's amazing. It grows really easily. It reseeds itself, as I said before. The pollinators love it. The bees go crazy on it, right? It's very whimsical. It's so easy to start from seeds too. Very, very, very easy. All right, and then we have the salvia. I'm not sure if you remember when I cut this back. Look at it, giving me new blooms here. Just look at it again. Alrighty, friends, on this side we have fire and ice hydrangea. It's been really hot, so when I finish record here, I'm going to give some of these plants water. I normally don't water my plants unless they're telling me they're thirsty looking. So I feel like this one is saying it's thirsty looking, so I definitely will bring the hose and give it some water here. But look how look at it, just look how it spread out. I can't believe it. So this is the fire and ice hydrangea. Yes, they're absolutely gorgeous. And then below here we have some sedum for the fall blooms. Then we have some lilies already bloomed, and then this is my pot with some impatiens I put in here. And there's some snapdragon behind there, which will bloom again when it gets cooler. And then here is the coreopsis we did together. And here's the pig squeaky, I think it's called, that bloomed in spring, and it should turn maroon color in the fall season. And here's my string bean, another string bean. Yep, I have string bean tucked in there. Look at it. This side needs some water. You can see it, the plants are droopy looking. And then here we have another coreopsis, friends, and look at my red hot poker. This is beautiful. So I have 3 here, 1 there, 1 here, this bloom already, and then 1 here. So what I did, I went down in here and I snip off the spent bloom, and it's supposed to shoot out more bloom. It will give me another set soon, so I have to come back here and cut this one off. But with these friends, you go all the way down in there and cut them down in there. But look at this guy here, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. And then here I have one of my baby banana plant from the mama plant over by the fish pond. I put it here in the shade so it doesn't get scorched from the hot sun. And here's a coreopsis, and here we have some coleus I did from seeds. Yep. And look at this balloon flower. I have 3 balloon flower, 1 here and then 2 somewhere underneath over there. Wow, I am like telling you, I am so happy how this garden has turned out. It's absolutely amazing. The plants are just beautiful and lush looking, absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, friends. And look at this. Normally I come from in the corner here. I have to show this to you. Look at my Rose of Sharon from Proven Winners. Look at it, friends. Normally I come through here when I start the video to show you guys. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This was 1 plant. These 2, they came in 1 container, but there's a baby that was connected to this one, and I didn't plant it as 1. I planted them as 2. So look at that. So I have a second one there, but this is absolutely gorgeous. Just look at that. And I created this, friends, to create like a soft privacy hedge from between here and the neighbor. So that's why I have it here. And I think it's doing its job. And then all the way down here too, I'm waiting for those guys to get bigger down there. But this has done a great job. And then look at this one. This one is a white one. This will be the 3rd year, I think, for this one. I think. But look at that. So normally this is where I come from. I come from in here. And I start the videos in here. Don't mind the mess on the ground. I'm going to blow off the patio and do some garden maintenance. All right, and then look at this, friends. This clematis, I noticed, is starting to bloom again. Very unusual. And then here we have this beautiful dark elephant ear. Look at that, friends. It's this side in the back here is pot sun. Yeah, so I have it here so the leaves don't get scorched, but it's doing really good. I got it on clearance. Not sure if you remember when I planted that with you. And there's this hydrangea, definitely telling me it's thirsty. Do you see that? I only water when the plants say to me, hey, I'm thirsty. Otherwise, I don't water all my plants in the garden. They have to look like the hydrangeas, and then I give them some water. And then down below here, we have this beautiful echinacea, and I have a balloon flower in here by the bleeding heart. This bleeding heart is so gorgeous. It already bloomed, of course. It was white, but I just love it. Alrighty, friends, and I must include my beautiful hardy hibiscus over here. You guys know how much I love them. So with these, friends, do you see these blooms looking like this? Yeah, so every day a bloom becomes a spent bloom, and they turn like this and they fall off. Yeah, so the blooms only last per day, but you keep getting blooms every day, okay? And it blooms all the way into fall, so it's not gonna run out of blooms. There's a lot of buds on here. Do you see that? But let me see if I can show you a fresh looking bloom. It's the end of the day, so this is not the freshest looking, but this is this one over here, and I'm going to do a compilation of all of my hardy hibiscus and make a video for you. But look in there, I think that's a ladybug. It looks like the yellow ladybug in there. They're absolutely gorgeous. And look at that one just fell in the ground, one of the spent bloom. Yes, love these, friends. These ones, these are hardy from zones 4 and up, and they do not give you seeds. The Rose of Sharon, which is a form of hibiscus, those reseed, like those I was just telling you about behind there. But these hardy hibiscus one, they do not reseed themselves. There's all different kind there. And then also, friends, you have the ones where they're just for the tropics or the warmer zones. If you're in the warmer zones, those will survive your zones. But these hardy hibiscus, these will survive cold zones from zones 4 and up. And then here we have this one. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't she beautiful? It's so gorgeous. And I just love the black foliage on here. I just love these guys. Look at that. So it turns like this. So tomorrow this will open up for me. And then tomorrow morning, this might start to become a spent bloom. As I said, the blooms only last just a day, and the plant keep producing more blooms for you over and over. One of my favorites. I think I have maybe 9 in the garden. 9. I do collect them, so when I see unique ones, I would get them and just plant them. But so far, I feel like the garden center only bringing certain ones, so I keep checking, but just have to keep checking for different ones, or even check out the private local garden center. But these are a must in your garden, and as I said to you before, make sure you give them space where they can spread out.